Welcome to France Today from France in English, where we cover the top news stories in France for January 28, 2026. Today we'll be discussing the recent developments surrounding the 2026 budget, a high-profile case involving a former senator, significant changes in immigration policy, and some exciting news from the world of rugby. Let's get started with the latest on the finance bill and the political landscape surrounding it. On January 27, 2026, the French National Assembly rejected two motions of censure against the government after it invoked Article 49.3 to pass the 2026 finance bill. The first motion received 267 votes, just 22 votes short of the needed majority, while the second garnered only 140 votes. This decision confirms the bill's adoption despite significant opposition. The legislative journey began on January 13th and faced several hurdles, highlighting the government's determination to push through its financial agenda amid ongoing public concern about living standards. On January 23rd, Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu triggered Article 49.3 to pass the 2026 budget without a parliamentary vote, leading to two new motions of censure from leftist factions and the far right. Although these motions were debated on January 27th, they're expected to fail, paving the way for the budget to move to the Senate. The budget allocates nearly €594 billion, including over €6 billion for the Defence Ministry. Critics argue it compromises ecological priorities and fails to tackle the cost of living crisis. Former Senator Joël Guerriau is on trial in Paris, facing serious accusations of drugging Deputy Sandrine Josso with MDMA back in 2023, allegedly to facilitate a sexual assault. Prosecutors are seeking a 4-year prison sentence, with 3 years to be served in prison and 1 year suspended. They argue Guerriau's actions were premeditated, highlighting the high concentration of MDMA found in Josso's champagne. Josso, who described a terrifying experience and sought medical help afterward, has since become an advocate against chemical submission. The prosecution has emphasized that Guerriau's past contributions to French democracy do not lessen the severity of these charges. France saw a historic surge in residence permits in 2025, surpassing 4.5 million for the first time ever. This marks a 3% increase from the previous year, with first-time permits alone jumping 11% to 384,230. Family reasons accounted for a third of the permits issued, while humanitarian permits skyrocketed by 65%. However, regularizations dropped by 10%, and deportations rose nearly 16%. Despite a decline in asylum applications, the acceptance rate climbed to 52%. These insights come from the Ministry of the Interior and the General Directorate of Foreigners in France. Antoine Dupont is making a strong comeback to the French rugby team after nearly a year out due to a serious knee injury. The French captain tore his ACL during a match against Ireland in March 2025, sidelining him for 9 months. As France gears up for their Six Nations opener against Ireland on February 5th, Dupont emphasized he seeks no revenge, calling his injury an accident. Former player Vincent Clerc noted that while Dupont's return with Toulouse has been positive, he's still working to find his peak performance. Thank you for listening to France Today. You can find links to articles for each story in the episode show notes. And for the latest news from France in English, visit franceinenglish.com.